All right. Welcome to another Shoptalk TV segment. I'm Raquan Lucas, VP of Content here at Shoptalk. And I am super delighted to be chatting with Amrita Basin, who is the CEO of Sotira. And she is also the lovely winner of our Judge's Choice Award for Shark Reef Startup Pitch. So welcome, Amrita.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, it's really exciting to talk to you. And I know that you've been pitching and talking a lot about your company, but there's folks who are going to be kind of listening in who may not
Yeah.
have had the opportunity to see you give your presentation live. So I'm wondering if you could just give a 30-second overview of your business and the solutions that you're providing at Sotera.
Sure. So we're workflow and compliance automation software for reverse logistics. So what that means is that we offload and we monetize overstock inventory. So a lot of retailers, brands, distributors, manufacturers, they suffer from the problem of unsold inventory, too much inventory, incorrect forecasting. And right now in the status quo, a lot of this overstock ends up in landfills, which is not sustainable. And we're working with the state of California as well as a couple other government legislation bills like SB 1383, which is a Senate bill that was passed to require that these enterprise level companies are now being sustainable with how they handle waste. So that's pretty much where we fit in, is that we enable these retailers and brands to unlock cash for their overstock.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. And super huge problem, but it's always felt like overstocks has been a kind of like a well-known challenge in the industry. So I'm curious, why do you think that's has kind of like continued to be such a big problem for brands and retailers?
So I think I have a very technical background, and I
Sure.
think I've spent a lot of time in the inventory forecasting space using AI, using machine learning models, like everything. The general consensus with a lot of our customers and brands and retailers I talk to is like inventory forecasting is not a problem that is really solvable with any level of tech or AI. A lot of our customers are spending like 5 to 6 figures a month in-house and externally on forecasting tooling, and it's just
Correct.
really hard. It's like consumers are hard to plan for, right? Like Super Bowl Sunday, you're stocking up on extra chips and salsa, right? To an extreme level, like avocados. Like you look at the amount of guacamole that we consume as a country on Super Bowl, that's like an anomaly, right? Being able to plan for that, all the delivery apps, all the grocery stores pushing that out in the front. You've got things like a large segment of the US when there's storms, there's natural disasters. All of a sudden, it's like we look at the price of eggs right now, right? So I think the categories that we work with, which again, they have expiration dates, they're things that are like staples that everyone's purchasing. Like it's really hard to plan and figure out like what are consumers going to purchase and in what timeline. And because these items have dating, because like they're shelf stable, but like again, they can't sit on the shelves forever. At a certain point, at like 6 months, you're ready to pull them. You got to look at how can we create a better system for retailers to not have to throw all these items away.
Yeah, and it feels like over the years this has only gotten even more challenging, given to your point how consumer behavior is just evolving, the volatility that
Yeah.
just exists with people kind of buying a bunch of products maybe one day and maybe dialing back on that another day. I'm
Yeah.
curious around I think you alluded to it a little bit around kind of the specific types of brands that you're assisting with and why you thought that kind of helping with the overstock challenge for that category made sense for you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, great question. So our bread and butter is food and beverage, health and wellness, and beauty and cosmetics. We're really interested again in these items that have expiration dates. There's a unique sense of urgency around this level of overstock. At around 6 months, retailers, grocery stores start to pull, right? They don't want to sell items to consumers when they're too short dated. It's a bad look for them. If it's something like rice that like could take a while to consume. So you look at situations like that. I think again, the sustainability aspect of it, we ask the question of why now, right? Like why is overstock really important to talk about right now? With all of these states passing legislation now, a lot of brands and retailers are being fined, right? CPG brands, D2C brands, they're being fined for how they're handling this. And it's like, there is a whole secondary market. Like the secondary market currently is a $500 billion market. By 2030, it will be an $800 billion industry. And the average American has probably shopped at the secondary market and not even known, right? You've gone to a discount grocery store, you've gone to a discount surplus emporium. Like I was living out in the Northeast, and like there was a grocery store on the border of Maine and New Hampshire that I shopped at all the time. I got short dated like vegan granola bars, I got cereal, I got all sorts of items, and I saved a lot of money by shopping there. And that's the secondary market. They're getting items from manufacturers, from retailers, and it's an old school industry in terms of how they get their items. So really, we're really trying to create software to streamline that process. So all of the items that are currently going to waste, we're making sure that all of those are actually getting sold and consumed by end consumers.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. And so we've been talking about just kind of the idea at a broad level, and why it's so important in retail. But I would love to like zero in specifically on the software that you guys are creating and how that is actually solving this challenge. So I'm wondering if you could share a little bit about. I would imagine leveraging AI in some capacity, but
Yeah.
what are those specific ways that you're able to do this in an efficient manner?
Great question. So I have background in the liquidation space. I spent a ton of time doing liquidation manually by hand, which is a lot of Excel, it's a lot of phone calls, and it's a lot of manual freight staging. So freight staging is effectively like because we do very large volumes, right? We're doing truckload capacities. We're not just doing a couple of pallets, right? So we'll do orders where it's like 5 or 6 trucks full of like sparkling beverages, energy drinks, health and wellness, mixed pallets, whatever items we're doing for whatever customer. And it's like, how do you optimize how those trucks are packed, right? Like, do you need a reefer truck? Do you need a box truck? Like, how do you optimize that? How do you optimize the routes where the trucks are going? So that's something that we're using AI to be able to do that. So freight staging that was previously taking like 45 minutes to an hour for a single order, as someone operating a liquidation business, is now entirely within a couple of minutes in our platform. We integrate with our customers' WMS or warehouse management systems. We get access to their overstock data. It's shared directly with our network of buyers on the platform. They're all vetted. They're all credit checked. Again, primarily brick and mortar. We're very focused on buyers that are deep in the secondary market that are able to kind of move these products. We did some research last summer. I went all over the Mid-Atlantic, visited a lot of our buyers' warehouses, and 80% of what they purchase from our platform is sold within 2 days. That's the velocity that the secondary market has that, again, a lot of consumers don't think about, right? And so with AI, it's like documents generation, right? Bills of lading, like BOL compliance, like any other related like financial compliance, like we mentioned, like credit checks, that's all streamlined now. So something the status quo that's taking 3 to 4 weeks, which is not an overestimate, like that is literally how long these transactions take to do all the paperwork, a lot of it's done by hand, is now happening in a couple of days in our platform. And that value add of being like, you uploaded your overstock inventory, or it was identified on like a Tuesday and it's being picked up on Thursday at 9 a.m. That's a huge value add for brands and retailers.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. I guess just to because I know we were running out on time, but I did want to just quickly get your thoughts on beyond just kind of your solution and technology that you're providing. Is there kind of additional or more general advice that you can provide to the retailers or brands that would be utilizing your service, kind of around kind of tips and tricks that could help them better, optimize their inventory, or just specifically, kind of deal with, overstock?
That's a good question. I would say that brands and retailers should be assured that like they do not have to throw things away. They don't need to slash items, like cut off the top of the lipstick, like all of these really like insidious practices that are happening that are like now they're starting to become like you're going to be fined for it, right? Like it's starting to get into that gray territory of like this is no longer legal and no longer compliant. I think brands should be aware that like there's platforms like us that are trying to bring the secondary market online. We're trying to make it easier for you. So like there shouldn't be any excuses anymore that like I don't know like how to sell my overstock. I don't know who to work with. Like you mentioned, like a couple other competitors that work on the consumer perspective. We're a B2B company, right? We do very large volumes. There's options out here now. So like I think that brands, if they can think about this problem of overstock is inexplicably tied to sustainability. It's like if the status quo is that all these items end up in the landfill, like we talk to global manufacturers and I'm like, what are you doing right now? And they're like, we have to pay for destruction and disposal. And I'm like, how much does that cost? And they're like, well, it's hazmat suit destruction. It's expensive. It's like we're paying for like all this protective equipment. It's a complicated process. Like there's chemicals in some of these products because again, the nature of the items that we do. And so thinking about that, how do we be more sustainable? Retailers should really have sustainability top of mind now, especially in the year 2025.
Yeah. Yeah, no, well said. So with that, I just would like to thank you, Amrita, for joining us here on Shoptalk TV, and give you a warm congratulations for being our Judge's Choice winner for Shark Reef Starter Pitch.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on.